Bring on the first speaker. Suba, yay! Okay, let me get into my speaker voice. For 30 years, I've been fixing machines. I used to believe in the mantra that if you control the system, you control the outcome. So I was a technician long time back, and I grew to become an engineer and eventually a manager leading a team of people, a team of engineers. And I used to sign $1 million contracts and also have $1 million budgets that I used to manage. But none of this decided my career change that I changed. And here's the part. I used to have a technician who was working with me, but he wasn't from the engineering discipline. And so I guided him to pick up the skills, technical skills and so on. And slowly he grew in that role. He got into an engineer role within the same company. And as I was discussing this with him, there was big ambitions. He wanted to grow into something bigger. So certainly I encouraged him to look outside if there is no opportunities within. Just go outside, spread your wings so they can find something. And he did. So one day I got a call. Boss, I got that senior engineer role. They selected me. He was out of breath. Even before it was real to him, he called me to share this news. And as I listened to him and I congratulated him and let him move on with the role, and I hang up the phone, and something in me unsettled. The thought that it wasn't my engineering capabilities or skill sets that actually got him into that role. The fact that it was the human connection, the trust, and the hope that I had in him to journey ahead that actually moved him forward to get into this space. So that for me was an eye-opener to understand this. And as I was thinking about this, I realized that maybe there is something in this that I should focus on. So I made a purposeful switch. I came out of my engineering space and I started to do something independently on my own in the space of coaching and so on. And here's the bad part. For 6 months, nothing. No contracts. No organization would recognize me for who I am. Absolutely zero. Nothing at all. I was beaten down. So I remember a conversation I had with my lovely wife in the kitchen one day when I looked at her and I asked, what have I done? 6 months, now I've got nothing. How am I going to move forward? And I always remember what she told me with a big smile. Subhash, you went out to search for something. Continue searching until you find it. So that was powerful. It remained with me. And true enough, in about 3 months' time, I got an opportunity to work for a company that does job placement. So I was helping people coming back to work. So I went in there, became a career coach for a while, and in that moment, I again had that same notion. What was in the job description for that role was to basically bring people back to work. It's about making sure your resume is correct, making sure your interview processes are clean, and so on and so forth, so they can eventually land into a role. And I was happily doing that. But along the way, I realized there was something in the JD that was not written, but I continued to do that. So how I realized this was, about 4 months into the role, I had a job seeker. She came to me. She told me that she was retrenched. For the last 6 months, she was jobless. It's not the loss of job that actually affected her the most. It was the loss of identity. And that was really painful for her. And every time she would talk about it, she would tear. So I sit together with her and we spent a good 4 to 5 sessions. 4 to 5 sessions later, she found a role. She found a job and she got back to work. And it was not the getting back to work, to the work that actually hit me. It was what she told after. She wrote me a nice email. In that she said, "You helped me overcome the mental challenges I was going through. You helped me to see how my path forward can be brighter." And that stayed with me. It was very powerful. You helped me to see how my path can be brighter going forward. And that's when I realized for the second time that something that was not clearly written in my job description turned out to be my actual skill set that I was gunning towards, which is the human touch, engaging with people, motivating them, and making them move forward. So this was truly, in a way, a call, I would say, that I heard, and something that my wife heard even long before I knew. So I started believing that this is not a coincidence. So let me put it to you as an engineer would. If you were to do a weighted measurement of your fulfillment at work, not the number of hours you spend, but really the impact you create, you will then find there is a pattern. And that pattern is data. That data is actually pointing you somewhere towards a journey. It could be your second career, and it's really pointing you somewhere that you should consider seriously. So with that, I want to leave you with one question, maybe that you can take away from. What in your current job description, or rather, what are you doing at your current workplace that is not defined in your job description? That could be your switch, that could be your calling. So 30 years ago, I used to fix machines. I thought that was my role. Turned out, it was to allow a person to pick up a phone, out of breath, even before it became real to him, to tell me, "I made it." So, I wonder what your phone call will be like. Thank you. Okay.